Isang mapayapang hapon Pilipinas. Ito po si Lisa Macuja, ang inyong balerina ng bayan na bumabati sa lahat ng nakikinig sa DZRH at sa lahat ng nanonood sa RHTV. Lalong-lalo na sa ating mga kasamahang alagad ng sining at kultura sa buong bansa. Kapansin-pansin ang pagiging aktibo ng ating theater scene sa ngayon. Sunod-sunod ang pagtatanghal ng mga major productions at siyempre kasama ang ating programa sa pagtulong at pagsuporta sa ating mga artista ng tanghalan. Kaya sa hapong ito, samahan ninyo kaming kilalanin ang isang dedicated young actor na halos sa teatro na nagbinata at ngayon ay mayroon na ring sariling theater group. Let's welcome seasoned actor at co-founder ng Word of Mouth Theater Philippines, Jeremy Domingo.
Si Jeremy Benjamin Domingo ay isinilang noong May 27, 1971 sa San Francisco, California at lumaking palipat-lipat sa iba't ibang bansa hanggang sa edad na 15. Nagtapos siya ng high school sa Pilipinas at pagkatapos ay kumuha ng political science mula sa UP Diliman. Habang nag-aaral, nagsimula siyang lumabas bilang aktor sa mga stage productions ng tanghalang UP at Bulwagang Gantimpala. Taong 1990 nang pumasok siya sa Summer Acting Workshop ng Repertory Philippines at noong taon ding yon ay natanggap bilang cast member ng The King and I. Sa loob ng 20 taon, nakalabas na siya sa halos 70 theater production, kabilang na dito ang A Portrait of the Artist as Filipino, Little Shop of Horrors, Dracula, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Our Town, The Mystery of Irma Vef, Hamlet Redux, The King and I, The Sound of Music, The Seagull, Woman in Black, at The Graduate. Noong 2011, itinanghal siya bilang Best Featured Actor ng Broadway World.com Philippines para sa American Huwangap ng Tanghalang Pilipino. Nominado rin siya bilang Best Actor for a Non-Musical sa 25th Aliw Awards noong 2012 para sa Woman in Black. Noong 2005, nagtapos siya ng Managing the Arts program mula sa Asian Institute of Management at nang sumunod na taon, itinatag niya ang Word of Mouth Theater Philippines kasama ang ilang kaibigan na pawang mga aktor din. Isang mainit na pagbati ang hatid ng Art2art sa batikang theater artist na si Jeremy Domingo.
Magandang hapon, Jeremy, and welcome to Art2art.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, alam natin na ongoing pa rin ang inyong production na The Graduate.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us ano ang role mo dito? And it is a very interesting play or movie? Or movie and then play?
It's actually nagsimula siya as a novel, tapos ginawang pelikula with Anne Bancroft and Dustin Hoffman noong 1967. Itong play is a new adaptation. 2002 lang yata ginawa sa London,
okay.
I believe. It was Kathleen Turner, who played Mrs. Robinson, tapos si Jason Biggs from American Pie, an American actor, and Alicia Silverstone. It's just a very new theater piece that's only about 10 or 12 years old. And we're showing it until April 28 this year.
April 28, saan?
In Onstage Greenbelt for Repertory Philippines.
Okay, and what's your role here?
Ang papel ko naman dito si Mr. Robinson, ang asawa ng pinaka-controversial na character, si Mrs. Robinson, played by Pinky Marquez, in the Anne Bancroft role. In the title character, The Graduate, it's really the story of Benjamin Braddock. Ano siya? Coming-of-age story siya about a recent college graduate na wala pang direksyon sa buhay, who unfortunately or fortunately happens to fall into an affair with a married woman. This is played by Reb Atadero, very talented, very promising young actor who I worked with before. We did The Woman in Black together, produced by Word of Mouth and another company for Dulaang Kalay just last year. So it's a reunion of old friends.
Wow. And the theater scene is actually really tight and really small, no? Parang ang daming mga familiar faces in working in different theater groups,
yes,
but working with each other. No,
it's really a small community. I mean, I think one big. Maybe a big change over the last few decades. The theater there are no borders now between companies. If you speak to somebody who lumalabas lang dati sa Repertory Philippines o sa Tanghalang Pilipino or PETA or Dulaang UP, chances are parang almost everyone is a freelance actor now. Because there are so many different choices, so many different companies that produce year-round. Someone pointed out, so first quarter of the year alone, well, this was in 2011, there were 13 productions, 13 stage plays in the first quarter of the year alone, from January to March. Siguro hinahabol yung katapusan ng semester, ng school year, but that's really when all the major companies have productions. And parang every company doesn't have, you don't really have the same people coming out all the time. To renew the energies and to vary your cast. Siyempre, mag-iimbita sa mga ibang kumpanya, mag-hold ng public auditions.
Okay, and parang kapansin-pansin nga na parang ang dami-daming mga theater productions ngayon sa theater scene. You know, it's like there's this big, I don't know, surge.
Renaissance.
Oo, parang renaissance nga. Bakit ganon?
I think there's really been, this generation kasi, are more aware of, yung henerasyon ng mga theater performers ngayon, karamihan sa kanila, nagsimula sa mga theater workshops, nung bata pa sila. I think they started really young. So there are a lot of university-based theater companies like Ateneo Blue Rep. You can even include Tanghalang Ateneo, Ndula ang UP, who semi-professionalize, and they invite professional actors to perform with them. There are more producers now. Many producers, myself included, began as actors, and I think we become actors. Some of us become directors, producers, scriptwriters. Myself, my company, Word of Mouth, actually started 5 years ago. Began when we were invited to. We began with a commissioned work, and. So we were commissioned by RCBC to do a children's environmental musical. That was the start of, syempre sa cast ko, I invited all my friends who were theater performers who were from different companies. May iba taga Repertory Philippines, taga Tanghalang Pilipino, taga Dulaang UP, taga PETA. And that really parang created another community in itself. And there are the theater actors have many companies to choose from. Since there are really there are more people producing now. More companies exist now in 2013 than 10 or 20 years ago.
But, you know, from experience, it's actually a lot easier to be an actor than to produce and direct.
It is.
So, you know, this from experience of having my own ballet company. I'd rather dance.
Yes. You have the least to worry about. You can afford to be selfish and still do your job.
So what made you put up word of mouth when at that time parang ang dami-dami ng mga theater groups, so now you needed to make room for even one more theater group?
Actually began because I began my theater career as an actor in 1990, and then I started directing in 1997. When I was I was directing corporate shows and plays. When I was I was expanding my resume beyond just being a theater actor, being a voiceover announcer for commercials. When I was getting invited to direct plays and even to write, I realized that I really owe my start. I was with Repertory Philippines for 15 years, more or less, not stop and go, but mainly for 15 years. And I realized that there were. It was time to move on from Repertory does mostly Western play. They do almost all English productions, straight plays, musicals. I wanted to try something different. I wanted to, first of all, because I also became a scriptwriter and a songwriter. I became a lyricist as well, and I was directing. I realized that there were bigger stories I wanted to tell, and parang I saw that there was a need for. At that time, when we began in 2008, there were certain productions that I could only do in a university theater setting. Mostly the classics, like the Shakespeare's, the Chekhov, coupled with when we received invitations to create original work, apart from just being commissioned, where it falls on your lap, you're invited to do something. There was a need, and parang. A community was developing out of our friendship with the different theater artists that I was working with, that we saw an opportunity to create our own work, and that became our contribution. So it was really by choice. Before we knew it, we were mounting Shakespeare's on our own, which had a very unique style interpreted differently from other companies that we had worked with. There was regularity of work. We were just last year we were commissioned by Adamson University to write, produce, direct, and mount an entire production for their 80th anniversary, where it became a chance to work with actors from different companies again.
Okay. So, producing your own plays and mounting the classics. That sounds very much like Ballet Manila. Anyway, what is easier?
Well, it's easiest, going back to what you said earlier, it's easier to act than anything else.
Okay.
One thing that, there's really been a boom in, there are so many companies that, like I said, we average 12 to 15 productions in the first quarter of the year alone. And with varying degrees of audience awareness. Now, there are some who do strictly commercial fare, who do mga Broadway musicals, family-oriented musicals, like Resorts World Manila has an ongoing production, which I'm a part of, The King and I, and also The Sound of Music last year. Atlantis and Repertory and Nine Works all do Broadway and off-Broadway musicals. So go to maybe the smaller, more intimate ones. Dulaang UP, PETA, and a lot of and Tanghalang Pilipino do a mixture of classics and contemporary work, mainly for student audiences. It's really a lot easier to just be a performer, like you said, like you know. It's a different challenge to direct also, where you have to take care of everything artistically. Probably the riskiest, and maybe many will attest, that it's when you're producing. You are not only in charge of your of all your internal of all your internal requirements for the production, but you are mindful of the audience that you bring in. You're in charge. I mean, you have to supervise all your marketing and all your sponsorships. Now, even after a single successful production, this market out there, your audience, has to constantly be nurtured.
So what is easier to market? A classical production that everybody knows and everybody knows what to expect of when they buy the ticket to the performance, or a new production that no one has seen before?
Many people will be excited by a new production, but I think it's the tried and tested. It's the classics, really, because schools require Shakespeare in addition to our Jose Rizal classics, our Balagtas. Companies like Gantimpala Theatre Foundation, they've been around 30 plus years and still managed to keep their company going, producing El Fili, Noli, Ibong Adarna, Florante at Laura. Other companies, there is no single company that regularly does Shakespeare, in classics in English, or the Rolando Tini translations. That's a void that we would like to fill in eventually. We did a production of Macbeth in 2008, and we're planning a back-to-back production of The Merchant of Venice and Macbeth early in 2014, mainly for school audiences. And I think with the production elements that we're putting in, hopefully it will appeal to a commercial audience as well, to theater goers, people who are used to attending musicals and straight plays from the West End and from Broadway, that hopefully we would generate that kind of interest from the casual theater goer. But it's really classics where you have siguro a captive audience. To answer your question about, is new material, does new material find an audience? It's probably double the effort. Like just recently, it depends on the company. I just finished an original play by Floy Quintos, Collection for Dulaang UP, which Dexter Santos directed. We were lucky enough to have full houses. For 23 performances, but that
Fantastic.
there's there's already a machinery in place. Dulaang UP is an institution; it's 35 years old, and I think there's a track record that brings that in. Whereas, our struggle is different, wherein we are still in the name building process. We don't produce as regularly as other companies who began at roughly the same time, pero have maybe the machinery and the manpower in place to keep bringing in audiences, which I think is a struggle of every company.
Yeah, pero the way you sound now, parang ikaw yung lagari king ng theater. with The Graduate and Dulang
Halos
UP
ganun, opo.
and all of these other.
Yes.
Okay, anyway, marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan tungkol sa mundo ng teatro kasama si Jeremy Domingo dito pa rin sa Art2art. Magbabalik po kami pagkatapos ng ilang paalala.
Programang hatid ay sining at kulturang para sa lahat. Magbabalik ang Art2art. Schedule ng mga inaabangang konsyerto. Update sa mga magagandang panoorin sa mga tanghalan at teatro. Narito na ang Art2art Calendar.
Narito ang ating Arts Calendar. Sa sining biswal, inihahandog ng Boston Art Gallery ang dalawang magkasabay na exhibit na itatanghal hanggang April 23. Tampok sa Odilon ang mga bagong obra ni Butch Payawal na kwento ng ama at anak na lalaki sa pang-araw-araw nilang buhay. Samantala, tampok naman sa Permanently Unfinished ang mga obra ng grupong Studio 1616. Ang Boston Art Gallery ay matatagpuan sa number 72 Boston Corner, Lantana Street, Cubao, Quezon City. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 722-9205 o mag-email sa aceboston@yahoo.com. Sabay namang itinatanghal ang exhibit nina Antipas de Lotabo at Step Lopez sa Art Informal hanggang April 22. Sa mall contents, isinilarawan ni De Lotavo ang mall culture. Samantalang sa Reverence, nagbibigay pugay naman si Lopez sa mga tao at kwentong nakapagbigay inspirasyon sa kanya. Ang Art Informal ay matatagpuan sa number 277 Connecticut Street, Green Hills East, Mandaluyong City. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 725-8515. Sa musika, magsasagawa ang Philippine Opera Company ng kanilang summer workshop mula April 9 hanggang May 23 sa kanilang Opera House Arts Center. Magkakaroon ng lessons sa voice, piano, guitar, basic theory at violin at ng programang Music and Movement para sa mga bata at kabataan. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa 822-9609 o bumisita sa Opera House Building, number 3657 Bautista Street, Palanan, Makati City. Sa teatro, sisimulan ng Viva Atlantis Theatricals ang kanilang unang season. Tampok ang musical na The Full Monty. Batay sa pelikula na may parehong pamagat, ang musical ay sinulat ni Terrence McNally at may music at lyrics ni David Yazbek. Tungkol ito sa 6 na walang trabahong lalaki sa New York na maiisipang magtanghal ng isang strip act sa isang club upang kumita ng pera. Ito'y sa direksyon ni Chari Arespacochaga. Mapapanood ang The Full Monty mula April 19 hanggang May 5 sa Carlos P. Romulo Auditorium, RCBC Plaza, Ayala Avenue, corner Senator Hill Puyat Avenue, Salcedo Village, Makati City. Para sa karagdagang detalye, tumawag sa Atlantis Productions at 892-7078 o sa Ticket World at 891-9999.
Be captivated by two cultures that speak the same language of dance. Witness the combined talents of two multi-awarded ballet companies, South Korea's choice of Bin Ballet and our very own Ballet Manila in Carmen, an international friendship gala. Don't miss this one-night-only performance scheduled at 7:30 p.m. on May 4 at the Star Theater. Carmen, an international friendship gala featuring the Choi So-bin Ballet under Artistic Director Choi So-bin and Ballet Manila under Artistic Director Lisa Macuja-Elizalde. Presented by the Manila Broadcasting Company, Star Theater, and Ballet Manila. For tickets and inquiries, contact Ticket World at 891-9999 or at ticketworld.com.ph or call Ballet Manila at 400-0292 or 525-5967.
Usapang sining at kultura para sa lahat. Kasama ang balerina ng bayan, si Lisa Macuja. Art2art.
Kasama pa rin po natin ang artista sa teatro at co-founder ng Word of Mouth Theater Philippines na si Jeremy Domingo. Okay, Jeremy, mag-backtrack muna tayo ng konti. You spent the first 15 years of your life traveling and living in different countries.
Yes.
Why was that?
My father is is a retired career diplomat with the Department of Foreign Affairs. He was ambassador to Brunei in 1984. And it's nasa pamilya ko talaga yun. My brother is also an ambassador, Jesus. His nickname is Gary Domingo. He recently returned from 6 years in Geneva, in Switzerland, with the UN Security Council. My tita Delia Domingo Albert was, my father is Benjamin Domingo. My tita Delia was ambassador to Germany and Australia.
Okay.
And I decided to go in a completely different direction.
Yes. I was about to say, what
and
brought
why?
you to theater then?
I think, although, so, dalawa lang kami sa pamilya, my kuya followed in my dad's footsteps. No? But I think what I retained from that sense of traveling. I was born in San Francisco. We lived in Germany. Kung bawat destino ng dad ko. And I realized this sense of wanting to of constant renewal. Maybe I was used to living in an area for only 2 to 5 years and move on somewhere else. My interest was always in film and media. I think when I was nagsimula ng mga 3 or 4 years old.
And yet political science ang kinuha mo sa kolehiyo.
Thinking na susunod ako doon. But I think I was true to my own interests. May balak sana ako mag-aral ng film. No? Nag-aral ako sa UP. But I realized this was in the late 1980s when there was some awareness. That's when Miss Saigon happened. And there was a lot of publicity about Lea Salonga, Monique Wilson, Kokoy Laurel, Junix Inoshan going to the West End. And that was a world I didn't know much about kasi hindi ako lumaki dito sa Pilipinas. But suddenly there was a lot of media, there was a lot of media exposure and a lot of publicity about Filipinos who trained in local theater who joined an original West End production. That piqued my interest. When I started out in political science in UP, but parang my heart was always somehow in performing or in media. I took my first summer workshop with Repertory Philippines in 1990. After this first batch, I was 19. I was entering my sophomore year of college. And I've been a professional working actor since then.
Okay.
So for the last 23 years, nasa kolehiyo pa ako, I've been a professional actor.
So for what role and when your first play, or was it a musical?
It was a musical. It was actually, ito rin yung play na ginagawa ko ngayon. I started in The King and I in Meralco Theater 1990 with Joy Verata and Mel Magsipok. At 19 years old, I played the Prime Minister. Dala yun sa tangkad ko, sa laki ng boses ko, whatever. Ang tawag nga sa akin yung zinc oxide actor kasi kailangan ko lagi putian yung buhok ko doon. And I really, I began with roles that my physicality was suited for. So parang na fast track na agad. I was given a lot of middle-age roles because I was tall and I was big. In anything I could do, in musicals, in straight plays. We did Grease, the teenage music, the original high school musical set in the 50s. And I never stopped since then. When I finished college in 93 or 94, I had more time to devote to productions. But that parang it's a road less traveled. It's the road of a theater, the career of a theater actor is not one that parents encourage their children to, or baka it doesn't seem like a stable profession. I owe my career to working in the theater kasi dahil lumalabas na ako sa teatro as an actor, I got work as a voiceover announcer. I've been working with Studio 23 and ABS-CBN since 1999 for 14 years. I've been doing commercials. I was an announcer for 96.3 W Rock, which is now Easy Rock, in this studio. So parang everything that theater opened up so many opportunities for me, and it gave me the training to be versatile, to be open to different forms of media.
But and yet you did not have any formal training in theater.
No, it was all on the job.
Okay, all through experience.
All through experience.
Okay, so. Did you have voice lessons to become a singer?
No, I don't consider myself a singer. I've done musicals, and I've done what they call character singing. I've had some form. limited formal training. The scope that I really wanted to pursue was in non-musicals, in doing straight plays, doing comedies, I fell in love with the classics, doing Shakespeare, doing Chekhov, doing Harold Pinter, doing Ibsen. Although what I really recommend, I mean, being an acting instructor myself, is, and one of the early things that we learned, a theater performer has to be versatile. I mean, it's important to take voice training and dance training because appearing on stage involves use of the voice and the body, and harnessing and training those skills, sharpening those skills, is something. It's something constant at any age. Even actors as experienced as in the West End, anyway, and Broadway, Meryl Streep still manages to take a class every year if she can.
Yeah.
Actors like Jude Law, Daniel Craig, still do plays whenever they can, and really take classes and workshops to keep their skills fresh. And on.
Okay, you said that your first interest was film.
Yes.
Have you gone into film?
Only as an actor and in a very limited way. It's really the world of theater.
Live
sucked
theater
me
is
in, of
still,
live theater.
yeah,
Yes,
okay.
because I really saw. That's where I really found my mission in creating word of mouth theater Philippines. It's creating a community, and I think my key word in word of mouth is really community. We are a community of actors with different experiences, and it's something that we want to contribute to the community of theater. That we want to give a unique perspective in staging the classics, bringing mostly English, but some Filipino as well, classics to students, the student audiences, and create an interest in the general theater-going public.
Okay, so right now you have The Graduate and you have The King and I.
Yes.
What's next for Word of Mouth Philippines?
Well, we're preparing a small. There are. Like I said, in contributing to the scene, we want to do something different. We're actually doing a twin bill Shakespeare production in January of next year, where we are attempting with a single cast to do a comedy, The Merchant of Venice, and a tragedy, Macbeth, with the same cast on alternating days.
Oh wow!
So that'll be
every
really
other day?
Every other day,
It
or
will be a
but within,
different
for example, maybe on a Saturday, you would have a matinee of The Merchant of Venice. In the evening, you'll have Macbeth. And that's been done by companies in Europe and in the U.S., but we want to be, maybe other local companies may have done that, but the first Philippine company, in this decade anyway, to attempt this. But we're also going to be doing an English play, an English drama by Harold Pinter, who is passed away a few years ago, but a contemporary playwright with it's a drama with 3 actors, and we're probably doing that mga July or August of this year.
Okay. Well, Jeremy, you've clearly found your place in theater. What would you say to all the young people out there listening to you now, who aspire to become an actor or get into theater like you have?
I would encourage anyone with an interest in theater to pursue it. It is and to keep on learning. There are a lot of people who have a casual interest in theater, and whether people who I've worked with, acted with, trained with, and I've even taught myself. There are probably a select few who continue and make a career of theater. It is an uncertain profession, that's true, but very rewarding for those who stay with it. But I think theater also gives a certain discipline and training that you take away from. You learn about group dynamics, you learn about relationships, you learn about human behavior. Apart from, it's probably the most educational field in terms of human behavior and psychology, apart from the field of psychology and psychiatry itself. But people who maybe re-enter the corporate world or go into the academe, who have theater training, really have an additional insight into group dynamics and teamwork. Theater enriches lives for those who participate in theater and those who watch live theater. I think, but it's really which I'll say to anyone in any profession, just to follow your passions, and then the rewards will come through hard work and commitment.
Okay, after everything you've done, any other dream roles or dream plays or dream projects?
My next one.
Your next. Good answer. Okay, let's invite everyone to watch The Graduate.
Yes, come and see The Graduate, produced by Repertory Philippines. We are running at Onstage Greenbelt from Friday to Sunday at Onstage Greenbelt 1 until April 28. Come and see The King and I at Resorts World, where I'll be appearing from May 3. It's ongoing now, but I'll be appearing from May 3 to May 26 this year.
Wow, fantastic, Jeremy. Maraming salamat sa pagdalo niyo dito sa amin sa Art2art.
Salamat din sa
And of
inyo.
course, more power to Word of Mouth, Theater
you.
Philippines, to you as an actor, voiceover, director, screenwriter. What else?
Everything else
Everything
I do.
else aside.
I'll keep on filling the blanks
Yes.
hanggang masawa ako sa industriya. Masawa na sila sa akin.
And of course, what you're doing to uplift the Philippine theater is, fantastic.
Thank you very much.
More power.
Thank you.
Okay. Mga kaibigan, samahan niyo kami ulit sa susunod na linggo, alas 3:30 ng hapon, dito lamang sa Art2art. Ito po si Lisa Macuja, nagpupugay sa artistang Pilipino at sa lahat ng Pilipinong nagmamahal sa bayan.